Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bedomy and this is Superhot, a first-person puzzler with elements of shooters in it. I know it sounds confusing, but trust me, after you see the gameplay, you will understand why am I calling it like this. But before we proceed to the gameplay, we will take a look at the settings, and while we won't be messing with them, we'll just take a quick look at them. And you will already notice that the control schemes are rather limited when it comes to movement and, well, not movement because you only have forward, backwards, left and right, as well as mouse aiming, as well as space for jumping, and also you have the action key, which is fire key, which is the left mouse button for firing and interacting with objects in the game. While I do usually criticize games for utilizing one button for multiple actions, this is one of the few exceptions I'm actually willing to overlook it. There are exceptions to every rule, and this game is one of them. I apologize if I sound already tired and everything, but this is I lost count which time this is. I'm trying to record this because something always shows up and intercepts me when I'm trying to say something, or something falls flat on its, I'm not gonna say surface, but something usually breaks down, and I'm trying to record this for the last 2 weeks, honestly, and this is rather frustrating. I'm starting to think this game is cursed or something. Anyway, we can set the desired language for the game from English to Russian to German, French, even Polish, and some other languages, but we'll not delve into this as much as we usually do. This is a quick fire review, and I want to finish this as soon as possible. The mouse sensitivity can be adjusted, as well as the inverted configuration, which will just invert the Y-axis for your mouse controls. So why would you do it? I have no idea. That's it for the control schemes. The audio sliders are actually nicely placed. You have 3 separate volumes and 3 separate sliders. So if you want to tune down the music and listen to the sound effects, you are free to do it. Same goes for the general volume as well as the music. Last but not least, we have the graphics options, which are relatively bare bones, to be honest, even by my standards. You can only turn down the vertical turn things on or off. This revolves around anti-aliasing, chromatic aberration, and VSync. You can just turn them on or off, but for the sake of this video, I'm turning them off. The gamma is basically the brightness, and I do recommend you lower the brightness of this game to the bare minimum, because you will be looking at white areas a lot, and with the intense lighting, you might hurt your eyes permanently, like myself. So lower the lighting on, because white surfaces and light do not mix well for the human eyesight. Also, if you are able to play this with a limitless frame rate, I am keeping this limited to 60 frames per second because I'm recording this on not a very good PC, and the OBS gets overloaded very quickly with stronger settings, unfortunately. Last but not least, we have the gameplay options, which just lets you turn the physics on or off, unexpected physics elements on or off. I do suggest you play this with physics turned off and unexpected physics turned off for your first time playthrough, because you die with a single hit, and an unpredictable bullet, even if you manage to ricochet it away from you, will somehow come back to shoot you in the leg and kill you. And there is something I've neglected to mention here. In the graphics, as you can see, we can adjust the visual quality, but not the resolution, or do we want to play this game in full screen or in windowed mode. The resolution issue has to be resolved in the game's launcher, which is stupid in my opinion. Why couldn't they just add the option to turn full screen or windowed mode in the game itself, Why is it missing in here? I have no idea. So anyway, these are the settings and options in the game. There are other, let's call them options in the game as well, but these are more or less window dressing, and I have no idea what they do in the game in general. I mean, I just pressed enter and something red went through the map. There are some other minigames that we can find in the games folders. For example, Tree Dude. And it's about chopping wood. You just... And it's basically chopping wood and avoiding branches that will kill you. So, without further ado, let's go to the settings and restart the whole game. And then discuss the game's history and the general plot of the game itself. What makes this game interesting is the fact that this was originally a web browser game. It only had 3 maps, and it garnered a lot of attention from people on the internet. So when the developers got enough backing for it, they decided to publish the full-fledged game that we are observing right now. And honestly, for what the developers did, this is rather impressive. The gameplay loop is fun, the mechanics are easy to learn but hard to master, which is honestly a good thing when you want to make a long-standing game. If you just make a game that anyone can play through without breaking a sweat, you're not doing your job right. But if you make a game that is easy to learn how to play but hard to master it, but it does take a learning curve, that's when you know the game will stand the test of time for a long time. And as you can see, we started off the game from scratch, which means that we just downloaded the cracked version of an unfinished game from its publisher. Oh my god, my eyes are killing me right now. And if you're suffering from epilepsy, do try to avoid looking at the screen when this happens. It will really stress your eyes and cause some other problems. So anyway, this is Superhot, the game in production from the game that is produced by an unknown company and that we just stole from the said company. The basic premise of the game is that time moves as we're moving ourselves. So as you can see, the game is in slow motion when I'm standing still, but when I start moving, everything goes into normal speed and we can die very quickly. As you saw, anyone can die from a single hit. Anyone can die from a single hit. The enemies and myself. But luckily, since the game's main focus is time manipulation, we can easily avoid death by correctly moving ourselves and killing our opponents with well-timed shots and punches. Unfortunately, I wanted to throw my gun and punch the guy to death, but I disarmed the guy and simply stole his gun and shot him. But as you can see, the game has a very interesting aesthetic to it. As we're moving around the white world of whatever the hell the game is called, of whatever the hell the world is, in-game world is called, we are attacked by red men, and we have to deal with them by utilizing black objects in the game, such as pistols, fists, shotguns, assault rifles, and baseball bats, as well as katanas. And if we time our attacks correctly, we can also shoot the bullets out of thin air. Hopefully we can avoid these shots and get the gun. Oh my god. Yes, oh, that was beautiful. We just shot the bullet out of the air. And as you can see, The world around us is white, and the texture quality is fairly decent, to be honest. Even though anti-aliasing and the visual quality is lowered to a minimum, everything looks crispy smooth. Apart from the weapon polygons and character polygons, but as I said, the story of the game is we are playing an unfinished product that is getting developed by an unnamed company, so it's to be expected. And as we're moving through the white world, we'll encounter black stuff that we can use to finish off our opposition or get killed by said black stuff. Nope, you will not kill me today. We will just move ourselves out of the way and kill these guys. Ta-da! It took me a couple of tries, but we did manage to kill the red men. Now, I'm not sure if the red men are some sort of enforcers for this world or just some terrorists that we're supposed to kill in the game. But as it stands, we just have to get rid of them as they're trying to kill us. As the story progresses, you'll find out more about the presence of the red men, as well as your friend's backstory, your backstory, and learn more about the world you're inhabiting. But at the moment, let's just discuss a bit more about the game's mechanics. As you can see, damn it! As you can already see, the puzzle element of the game is basically figuring out when and where you should move and when you should fire at the enemy. So if I want to kill this guy with a single shot, I should predict where his next step will take him and then shoot in that general direction to kill him. I wasted one shot, and now I am in the open for the three red guys to, well, jump me and kill me with if their timing is correct. Luckily, I positioned myself smartly, so one guy is already dead. The next one will stand here and start shooting from a standing position, and the last guy is coming towards me unarmed, so I can finish him off with my fists. And that's the basic loop of the game. You're put in a position where you're put in a bad position, and you have to fight your way out of it. Now, the only difference of difficulty is the number of enemies that will spawn in, and the complexity of the level will increase as the story progresses. Or, actually, no, I think the maps will become smaller and harder to navigate, because they will have more obstacles in them. And you'll just have more enemies to deal with shotguns and assault rifles, armed with... Yeah, you will have to avoid shotguns and assault rifles, as well as pistol shots and brutal hand-to-hand combatants. So now our main idea is to get the hell out of Dodge, kill this guy's pistol, and then shoot this guy before he kills us. Thankfully, I think we just killed the last of these. Last of these red guys, and that's it. The level is complete. Now, I hope you understand. Excuse me. Now, I hope you understand why am I calling this a first-person puzzler with shooter elements, because the game really isn't for blind run and gun. Isn't about blindly running and gunning everything in sight. It's about running and gunning, that's for sure, but you have to consider where you should stand and who should be your priority when you start shooting. So at the moment, I think we can end the gameplay section here and end the video relatively soon, because I borrowed this game from a friend of mine, and I have a feeling that he wants to play his games as much as the next guy during the time of coronavirus epidemic. I mean, it's a quarantine here, so he's probably bored out of his skull or something. Anyway, this is Superhot. it's a fun game. I do recommend you play it if you have the time or you're willing to explore the internet to find the web browser version of it. Or if you want to spend money, you can purchase it on Steam, Epic, GOG, or Humble Bundle. There are a lot of sites that sell it, or you could just look it up on the web, on I don't know, Newgrounds or some other gaming sites. If I have any complaints I have about this game is simply the resolution cannot be adjusted. In game, you have to exit the game and relaunch it in order to adjust it from the launcher. And as for any other complaints, I think I have the issue with the length and the music. That's about it. I think the game it is a fun game, but I think the narrative is really too long in my opinion. It would be just fun if the developers released the engine or a modding tool that will let the players create custom levels and let them play and create their own challenges. Granted, I didn't play this game for long, so maybe there is a tool that allows us to do this. So if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. I'm open to criticism like everyone else. No, actually, no. I usually accept criticism and try to correct my mistakes. But if criticism is justified, if you're just gonna call me an idiot and everything like that, I'm just gonna ignore it. Anyway, this was Superhot. It's well worth your money, and I hope you will enjoy playing it as much as I had fun reviewing this. So, until next time, my name has been Bedomy. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.